Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very special educational episode of Decades La Salle Season 2. And I am your host, Rico Hizon, and it is wonderful for all Lasallians and non-Lasallians who are watching us for this edition. And why? Because all of you watching us right now have to be in your best behavior, as we have on the program two of the most respected professors at De La Salle University. All right, I'll have to read their qualifications because they're quite extensive. First up, we have the editor emeritus of the DLSU Business and Economics Review and professor emeritus of DLSU School of Economics, a renowned authority in the field of economics and finance. Let us all please welcome Dr. Tereso Tullao. How are you, Professor?
I'm good. My, what an introduction.
What an introduction.
Yep.
Deserving of a great introduction. All right, next we have the Professor Emeritus from DLSU's Communication Department, of course, which I came from. And of course, Dr. Tullao was also my professor in economics, an award-winning screenwriter and filmmaker, a respected figure in the film industry. Unfortunately, when I entered the Communication Arts Department, he was taking up his PhD, and I missed him in my last 2 years here at De La Salle University. Let us all please welcome Dr. Cloduadlo del Mundo Jr.
Hello.
How are you,
good to see you.
professors? How are you?
Still alive.
Still alive and still teaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
High energy ito.
I know.
High energy.
Kaya
Which I
kailangan
learned
performance level tayo.
from my Lasallian education. Kailangan performance level.
Yeah. I think I have to
professors.
dance.
So let me start off with both of you. I want to find out, what is the title of emeritus and what does it mean?
Well, it means you're retired. Okay? Aside from that, it's an honorific title. Okay? But it gives the recipient an opportunity to serve the university continuously beyond the age 70. Not both of you look like a day past 70. Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind. Okay.
Yan ang natutunan niya sa Lasal.
So, tell me, okay, retiring past 70, but you're still teaching.
Right.
Professor Doy, you're already 75 and you're teaching 6 units. What makes you continue to teach communication arts?
Well, it's nice to see young people around you, you know, and they have so much energy, you know, and I guess teaching them allows me to imbibe their energy.
You feed off
Something
their
like
energy.
Yeah.
And
Something
are there things to learn from the youth of today? I mean,
Yeah,
you
of
already
course.
know basically everything. You know all the theories.
course.
You know everything about production, television, radio. What is there still to learn and what is there still to teach?
Well, there's a lot to learn, especially now, no? Kasi iba na ang takbo ng media ngayon, di ba? Everybody is virtually a communicator, right? I mean, they can use Facebook or any platform. They can use their cell phone and communicate to the world, right? So it has changed the process of communication tremendously, and that's what I want to find out. What do we do now?
So, I mean, communication, media, film continues to evolve. What about you, Professor? You are teaching the full 12 units.
Yes, I
And
do.
you're a very young 73 years old.
Thank you very
So,
much.
why do you still continue to teach?
Well, you know, first of all, I was requested by the department to teach. Second, well, my students want me to teach. Okay. More than that, okay, I find fulfillment in teaching. Okay. Now you asked the question, do I learn from them? Yes. Some of the answers of my students are very insightful. And so I said, oh, that's a good point. Okay.
But the theories of economics and finance remain the same through the decades, whether it be gross domestic product, law of supply and demand.
I agree. I
Oh.
agree. In fact, yesterday I told my students, okay, you will forget everything that I taught you.
Oh.
But what I'm proud of is that you submit your assignments on time. You articulate in the recitation, okay? You write essays. You know how to make an outline. You will use these skills beyond De La Salle.
Ganon? Maski kinopya sa AI.
Ayun, yun
Kinopya
na
sa
ngayon.
AI. No, this is what I do in my class is this, okay? I divide the class into two, okay? Because it's two, you have 40 students. These are freshman students. So the first half, I meet on site on Monday, and the second half, I meet online. It's all recitation.
Oh,
And
good.
all my lecture notes, I don't lecture. They're all in Canvas. And they can view it there, okay? So they cannot copy from AI because I do have review questions, but I deviate. And this is one thing good, okay?
Yeah.
Even if I deviate from my questions or from the review questions, they can answer.
That's
And,
very
and,
interesting.
and June has to run the credit co-op, credit cooperative. So he can just give it up. He's the head of the co-op.
You just love to teach the youth.
Yeah,
the
of
youth
course.
of today and the youth of tomorrow. I mean, there's just so much to learn, right? In terms of economics and business. And this what makes the world move
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
move around. And you, Professor, you mentioned a very important point there about artificial intelligence, which has been front and center since last year because of ChatGPT. Is it prevalent, the use of AI in communication arts these days?
That I have to find out. That's the problem, that there's a lot to learn about it, and I haven't checked it out really. So, but I trust the students.
That they won't copy their AIs. They won't
No,
have
no,
it done by.
the-
They won't have their essays done by artificial intelligence.
And we're here to study in the university, so they have to have this basic virtue, of honesty. That's the simple thing. I just trust them, that they would do their own work. They can use it to check out some possibilities. It can be a research tool just to help them with their projects.
But what kind of professor are you, Professor Doy? Terror ba kayo? Are you approachable? What kind of professor are you? What style do you have?
Well, when I joined La Salle in 1975, I was very strict, regarding plagiarism and all that. I would go and search everything. There was no Turnitin then, to check out plagiarism, But so I was very strict about it, and I move heaven and earth, to find out where the student. If I doubt the student, then I check it out really, and I was very strict. That's why one afternoon when I was ready to go home and I go to the parking lot, I find the tire of my Volkswagen flat.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Strict, but of course, students will truly learn from you and will remember you.
well-
I mean, when they end up in the respective industries, whether it be media, PR, or corporate communications. What about you, Professor Tullao? What kind of professor are you? Nagpapaulan ba kayo ng uno?
No. Umuulan ng 4 sa akin.
Quattro!
Yeah.
I remember when he was my professor, I think I got a 2.5 or a 3.
Well, of course, if you're a young professor, you're very strict, okay? Now, when you get old, you get mellow, okay? So you can now understand the situation of the students, okay? So, my classes are always full. So if that is an indication, I guess I'm popular. Modesty aside, okay?
Are there still some students, Professor, that you will always remember up until today when you started teaching economics?
I'm very poor in remembering names, but I know some of my better or best students. Agnes Kisumbing, okay, one of the leading agricultural economists in the world, okay. Others, Ipe Maramag, the late Ipe Maramag, who was a banker in the United States, got his MBA from Stanford. So these are, the outstanding students of mine that I can still remember. But I know I have a lot. Okay, but
a lot of the Sallians are very successful in various industries.
I cannot remember the names, but I can remember where they sat in my class. So that's it.
I remember some of my students.
Yes.
I even remember one student that I never had in my class. His name is Rico Hizon.
Oh, wow. Wow. Who's that?
See?
Because when I joined the Communication Arts Department, I thought you would be my professor.
Yeah.
But he said, oh, I'm sorry. Professor Doy Del Mundo will not be available for the next 2 years because he's taking up his PhD. But
that study went longer.
Went longer.
Yeah.
But among your students, who among them have made it in media, PR, or corporate communications? Have been very successful.
Quite a number of them, yeah. Of course, I tell each one of them that he or she is my favorite student, but don't tell it to others. Yeah. Chiki Escarial, Go.
Oh,
is,
yes.
Someone in the business, and marketing.
He's very active
marketing.
with the Com Arts Society.
Right. Mary Lian, who used to host this Decades La Salle, very good student. In the film industry, we have Lee Briones, well-known cinematographer. Shane Sarte is also a cinematographer. On television, we have Dominic Zapata and Mark Reyes. They're graduates of
That's right.
the department.
That's right.
Yeah.
Both very well-known directors,
Yeah.
and of course, Dominic Zapata is also part of this Decades La Salle season 2. We have is part of this of the 10 episodes that we have put together. And Dr. Tullao, there's a lot of talk around here that you're being called the owner of La Salle. How did this all come about?
Well, I crowned myself. as the owner. Well, the story started with after finishing my PhD. Okay, so when I returned to La Salle, I was stopped by the guards, and the guard said, "Sino po sila?" And I said, "Dr. Tullao." The first time, I was so proud that I'm a Dr. Tullao.
PhD.
Sa clinic pala kayo. Sabi ko, hindi naman ako nurse, no? Okay. 2 weeks later, tinanong na naman ako, sino po sila? Itago mo na lang ako sa pangalang Tereso de la Salle. Tereso de la Salle? Ano po niyo si St. John Baptist de la Salle? Sabi ko, pray for us. Okay? So, hindi ba nakikita at kahawig ko? Lolo ko. From then on, I became the owner of La Salle. Okay.
But there was one event when June Tullao addressed some of the teachers, and he said that, all of us own La Salle.
True.
Tatandaan mo yun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So
We're all stakeholders.
right.
Precisely,
right.
yeah. Okay.
And in the many number of years that you have taught here, what would be one of the most memorable experiences? Maybe 2 or 3 memorable experiences that you've had here on campus.
Well, when I started in 1975, that was the first time communication class was offered, and there were 60 students in the class. Sobra, no? Sobra, 60. Yeah, like that's almost two sections in one classroom. And then some of the students I would know later, would get to know later better. See, Joey Reyes was there. Okay, he was a literature major, but he took electives in communication, and he's a well-known filmmaker now, right? He did Oro Plata Mata for Peque Galiaga, you know. And then si Manny Castaneda was also there. Si Manny Castaneda is an actor, and he boasts of being an actor with a wide range, you know, right? He can play a gay teacher, you know, a gay lawyer, a gay sidekick. So malaki yung range ng acting niya.
Flexible.
Oh.
Sana nakikinig si Manny, no?
Yeah. Then si Evelyn P. Benito, also an actor and writer, you know, on TV. So they were in that class. And then, lo and behold, someone comes in from St. Paul, Manila, across and Rody. Her name is Maria Rosario Santos,
Okay.
aka Charo Santos.
Oh,
okay.
Charo Santos.
Yeah. And
Was
then,
a student here.
Yeah, she crossed and
Rody.
Rody. Yeah, from
Nevertheless,
St. Paul, Manila.
She was a student.
And sila Joey nagsisisi kasi kung nalaman lang daw nila na magiging president siya ng ABS at head ng Star Cinema, they would have befriended her. Yeah, so yun.
But no one really knows what the future holds, right?
Yeah.
For the students here, they make their own destiny. And what about you, Professor? Memorable experiences in the decades that you've been teaching here?
I have several, okay. I was nominated. I was a semi-finalist in the Fulbright in the late 70s. And they were asking for institutional support. So I went to Brother Andrew and I asked for, support, financial support. And Brother Andrew said, we don't have money. Well, brother, if that is the case, I will resign.
Wow.
I will resign. And you know what Brother Andrew said?
An ultimatum.
Yes. And Brother Andrew said, Jun Tullao, you cannot resign from De La Salle. And why not, brother? You will not be happy elsewhere. Oh, that's the end of the story.
Which is true.
Yeah, I know. Brother Rolly Dizon said, that after finishing my PhD, just give La Salle 3 years, okay? And you can go anywhere you want to. But I stayed for 5 decades.
Wow, 50 years.
More.
You've been teaching communication arts, economics for decades. What do you think sets the La Salle student apart from students from other schools? Professor, Professor Jun, let's start off with you.
That's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question, problem. I feel like I'm having a revalida or a PhD dissertation defense. No? But at any rate, I think it's a cooperation. It is brought about by the trimester system. They are forced to cooperate. Cooperation is very endemic among our students, okay?
Yeah.
So, in all fields, no? Not only in economics, okay? It's cooperation.
Yeah, you cannot relax, no?
Cannot.
Because
And not
the
only
term
that,
really goes by so quickly.
There are some brilliant students in high school that do not excel at La Salle because they're so individualistic. So you really have to
be a
cooperate.
team person.
Yeah, team,
Yeah.
And that's why La Salle graduates are good in organizing events.
And you, Professor Doy? What makes us stand out in the professional fields? You've named so many successful graduates from the Commerce Department.
Well, De La Salle University is a Catholic university, Christian university. So hopefully the values, Christian values, they would have imbibed in their stay here during their studies here in the university. and they would bring these values with them when they work professionally. And I think some of them do. Yeah.
And Professor, you have a notable list of award-winning films under your name. Let me mention some of them. Batch 81, Maynila, Kuko sa Liwanag. And a lot of people are saying that you have definitely made your mark in the Philippine local film industry. How did it all start?
Oh, okay. I was
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, yeah. Okay. I took up graduate studies in Ateneo after I did my college studies there. In
Which school?
sa Katipunan.
Okay.
Miriam?
Merino.
Hindi pa sila tumatanggap ng lalaki nun sa
Bagay.
Merino, yung time na yun. Yeah, and anyway, okay. I had a class in graduate school in script writing. So, but I was the only one who enrolled in the class. And so it became a tutorial class, and it was handled by Nestor Torre. No?
Okay.
He's a known writer,
TV host and writer.
film writer, yeah. And so I did a screenplay, Pepot Artista, which, well, I can talk about it later. Yeah, Pepot Artista. And then during the mid semester, I already finished the screenplay, and Nestor asked me, do another one, okay? And I said I did not have any original material, so can I adapt this novel sa mga kuko ng liwanag? So, and I did it. I did an adaptation, and well, after school, then I showed it to some friends and some filmmakers, but nobody wanted to take it up and film it.
But did you always want to become a storyteller? Or did you also want to be a director? Or an actor?
Basically filmmaking. It's storytelling, basically. Well, it depends on what you want to do, right?
So behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
I tried it once when I was in college. Nobody would believe it. Yeah.
Oh, this is a first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're in front of the camera.
Yeah, when I was
what was this project, Professor?
It's a Balintatao in
Balintatao,
television.
I know Balintatao,
the first one, the original.
Oh.
Yeah. So we did the pilot show, and I wrote the teleplay, and I also appeared in it.
What was
and
your
then
role?
Tommy Abuel appeared in it too.
One of our best dramatic actors.
Yeah.
And what was your role? And what was the name of your character?
Well, okay. This was in the late 60s, okay? Late 60s. That about 50 years ago, Rico. Okay.
Oh, that was just, that was the year
about your age.
Yeah, about my age.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
It's the teleplay was based on a theater play by Jesus Peralta, The Somnambulists, okay? It's about a young man, with problems in the family, and a mental condition and all that. And that's the character I played. And then Tommy Abuel, I met in a hospital, I think.
And would you still like to go back to acting?
Not really. Yeah, after a while, I found out this is not for me. Yeah, this is not for me.
And you, Professor June, you have spent decades teaching and writing award-winning economic books. What do you think is the most important lesson in economics that students should always bear in mind?
Opportunity cost. Everything. There's no free lunch. Everything that we do, there is accompanying sacrifice. So
Failure.
not necessarily failure, but we have to yield something in order to attain another thing. So that one. As long as my students know the concept of opportunity cost, well, you will do this, okay? You can apply this when you become managers, okay?
That's right.
When you make a decision, okay, you have to to make sacrifices.
We watch a lot of podcasts, Professor June, television, radio, people talking about our GDP growth, talking about higher oil prices, inflation. What makes a good economist when you're listening to one?
Well, you have to be a good communicator because many economists are good analysts, but they cannot express this in layman's term. Okay, to me, a good economist is one who can understand the theory and then relate it to the people. Okay, in understanding what's happening in this country, whether it is what is the cause of inflation, why is the price of onions going up, okay, and so forth and so on.
And do you think we have a lot of future economists here in La Salle who will end up with the Asian Development Bank, with the World Bank, with the International Monetary Fund, in multinational and local banks?
We do, you know. When I started, when I returned from the United States, I was the only one with a PhD, not only in this Department of Economics, but in the College of Commerce, okay, College of Business and Economics. Now, okay, most of my students have earned their PhDs and they have returned and they are serving De La Salle. And this is probably one of the reasons why the economics program at De La Salle is the best private economics program in the Philippines. Okay.
And
Ganon?
I want to
Uy.
no, and I
Better
wanted to ask
than-
you, Professor, no, as a follow-up
No,
to
no,
that.
private, huh?
Private. Okay. Why did you not decide to join a local or a multinational bank or an international or institution and share your expertise to a broader market?
Well, you know, I'm really meant for La Salle. I am
Academe,
meant,
education, teaching.
not academe. I'm meant to be at La Salle because I know I will own it. Okay? So, No.
Bakit hindi ka naging La Salle brother?
pinaalis ako.
So one of the best
Ay, baka
economics
maniwala sila.
programs, private, in the private sector. What about the communication arts department, Professor Doy? How do we scale up, or how do we match up against the best mass comm or communication arts program in the country?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, Rico. Okay. No, but I think we rate as, but as high as the better schools in the country, and we have the faculty who are qualified with PhDs and all that. So it's difficult to if we compare schools with one another, we just do what we do.
That's right.
We do it as best as we can.
Yeah, because I've been in this industry now, in media for the past 35 years, and a lot of people are asking me who are not familiar or who do not know which school I came from. They always ask me if I graduated from a school in Katipunan, and I always tell them that I've graduated from the best school that offers the best communication arts program in this country. And that's De La Salle University. And then they get shocked. I said, you know what? You want to experience that? If you want to be a good storyteller, a good communicator, then go to De La Salle University and the communication arts program.
You know why, Rico? Because of the influence of Brother Andrew.
Yes.
He did not advertise. He was just telling us, do your best. Excel.
Yeah.
That's it. Other schools will advertise.
We'll brag, right?
Yes.
We'll brag. So, yeah. I think our skill sets, our talents just spoke for itself. And that's reflective of the education that we learned from our professors and the teachers and the brothers here at De La Salle University. All right, now, This time around, we have a few questions from students who want to learn from their alumni. So Dr. Tullao, here's one question for you. When making projections, economic projections, how do you ensure that your analysis remains unbiased?
That's a difficult question, okay? Because it's a forecast, okay?
Yeah.
Forecasting means that that's a statistical method in forecasting, let's say, the GDP, okay? So, well, honestly, I don't do forecasting, but I analyze what's going on. Let's say, for example, in the GDP, why is the GDP of the Philippines increasing, okay?
So it's all data-based.
Yeah, you have to be data-based. And in fact, I have a controversial book that said that it was not Pinoy that pushed the development or the increase in 6% GDP, but rather the remittances of our OFWs. Because the government expenditures at that time went down, and yet consumption went up. It was a consumption-led growth and not an investment-led growth, nor a government expenditure growth.
So that has to really be analyzed from bottom up and then top to down, top to bottom. I mean, all the data has to really also be considered, especially when it comes to economics.
You're welcome to Dr. Tullao's class.
Para naman sa'yo, this is a question in Tagalog, Professor Doy. Sabi nila, sa isang pelikula, underrated ang papel ng isang screenwriter dahil mas madalas na bibigyan ng pansin ang direktor at ang bidang artista. Ano po ang masasabi niyo dito?
Oh, that's true. Totoo yan. Kasi sa ano rin, siguro kasalanan din ng mga critics, no? In the history of film criticism, there was a time when the idea of the auteur theory was developed. The director is the author of the film. So emphasis was given on the role of the director.
But the director just interprets,
of course,
the script of the screen,
right,
of the
right.
screenplay.
Yeah, but
the scriptwriter.
There's something more that the director does. Of course, the director interprets and makes it happen. What the screenwriter has done. But the problem is, the screenwriter is not given too much importance. Once the screenwriter has done the screenplay and gives it to the producer or the director, then they run away with the screenplay. Parang running contest, di ba? Yung baton. You pass the baton to the next runner, and then he runs away with it. Ganun na nangyayari sa pelikula. The producer runs away with it, the director runs away with it, and unfortunately, some of them don't give credit to their screenwriters. So,
but of course, in all award-giving bodies, you have the best screenplay. Right?
Yeah.
So that also gives due recognition.
Yeah, lagi ko nga tinuturo dun sa mga estudyante ko na ang screenwriter, yung simula ng pelikula, siya yung unang the first one who imagines the film, and the screenwriter projects the film on his mind screen, and what he sees on his mind screen, he just translates into words, into the screenplay, and he communicates it to the rest of the production staff. So sa kanya lahat nagsisimula.
All right, gentlemen, we have a question here from a scholar of La Salle, and her name is Cara Cansana. Let's watch this video of her question.
Hi, Dr. Doy and Dr. Tullao. I'm Carla Cansana from the School of Economics, and I have a question for you. Can you share one of your most memorable teaching experiences that constantly reminds you of your why and positively impacted not only you, but the students that you have empowered?
All right, thank you so much, Cara. Let's start off with Professor Jun.
Well, when I was a young faculty member, I was always asking questions. And there was this student who was raising her hand, and I ignored her, Several times ignored her. Then I asked a very difficult question. And then I said, no one is raising their hands. Miss Mayuga, what is the answer? And this was the reply of Miss Mayuga. Nung alam ko ang sagot, hindi mo ako tinatawag. Ngayong hindi ko alam, tatawagin mo ako? Oh, I said, let's continue with our lesson. Okay.
How long ago was this, Professor?
Probably 4 decades ago.
4 decades ago, and it has remained.
Well, of course. Everyone
You will
is
remember it.
Everyone is laughing when I tell them about it.
And do you know what Miss Mayuga is doing now?
Well, she's a singer, di ba? You know her.
You mean communication? Sa communication arts station?
I think so. Oo.
Okay.
Yes, merong Mayuga. Yeah.
And what about you, Professor? Professor Doy?
Well, it's difficult to follow up that anecdote. Pero, well, there was one time when I had a student, a young woman, who I could not remember the problem, but she had some problem. And then I just listened to her, and then I just tapped her shoulder, or I placed my arm on her shoulder. And then later on, she told me, I don't know if she wrote a letter or she told me face to face, that had an effect on her, and she liked it, and she thanked me for it. Yeah. So yung siguro natutunan ko, yung pagtuturo hindi lang sa, teaching ideas. Merong connection, may relationship, yung teacher sa estudyante, it's a personal thing.
Yeah. Sometimes just one subject, or maybe a sentence or a paragraph. I mean, what you basically relate to your students will really have an impact on them. I mean, for the rest of their lives, and even in their professional careers.
Yeah. After all these years, I've learned that what is important is not the content of what we teach, because I think it can be taught by, of course, it can be taught by someone who is all equally qualified, right? The content can be taught, but what the teacher brings something more in the classroom, and that's yung pagkatao niya. And yun ang matutunutan ng mga estudyante. Pagkaraan ng maraming taon, ang matatandaan ng estudyante, yung pagkatao ng teacher, hindi yung tinuro niya yung content.
That's true. I mean, that's true, Professor. No, I mean, you have to have character, personality, and you have to also mix up with all of these theories of economics and communication arts a bit of fun, right? Humor, entertainment. So at least these are things that the students will remember you by.
Well, of course. I'm famous for my zero infinity zero dance, okay? And I told my students, when you graduate at De La Salle, your employers will be La Sallians, because we produce several La Sallian graduates, okay? And the first thing that they will ask is, if you're an economics major, were you under Dr. Tullao? Of course, you will say yes. Well, then, dance the zero infinity zero dance.
And what is that? What does it look like?
Well, the slope of zero is a horizontal line. And the slope of infinity is a vertical line. So zero infinity zero is yes, okay? Positive, negative. Okay,
right.
So demand and supply. I have to dance in my class, because economics is not exactly the most exciting course.
Yeah, if I were directing this, I would tell June, tone down, overacting.
No, but you would be winning a Best Actor award.
No. I was trained under Peque Galiaga. Okay.
Oro Plata Mata.
Yeah.
No, I was more of a drama actor, okay, or theater actor rather than movie actor. Kasi pag movies, di ba, very subdued, di ba? Uy, ikwento mo naman. Naging aktor mo ako.
Well.
Paglipad na.
Yeah. Paglipad ng Anghel. Yeah, I did a feature film, funded by De La Salle University. So I'm eternally grateful for that. And si June Tullao did a cameo role.
Oh. What was the name of your character?
He played, walang pangalan.
Walang pangalan.
Manager.
Manager.
Ng opisina. Yeah. pinatawag yung isang empleyado.
Oh, we have to dig up this video and play during this Decades La Salle
Yeah,
Season 2 episode.
Right.
So we would like to thank Cara Cansana and of course, thank you La Salle for your continuous effort in supporting our scholars and our students through the program La Sallian Giving. And to our dear alumni who also want to leave a legacy and strengthen our animal spirit. You can also support DLSU through its several projects and campaigns. We have our scholarship programs through the La Sallian Legacy Fund. We also have projects to support our athletes through the Sports Animo Fund. And we also give opportunities to students to harness their creativity through the Seats for the Arts Fund. You can also help build the faith of the La Sallian community by donating to the Santuario de La Salle, located on DLSU's Laguna campus. The Santuario de La Salle is the first sanctuary built in honor of our founder, St. John Baptist de La Salle. And for more info, you may email edwin.reyes@dlsu.edu.ph or advancement@dlsu.edu.ph. And of course, finally, to wrap up this very educational episode of Decades La Salle Season 2, both of you individually, can you please complete the sentence, I am a Lasallian, of course, I am blank. Let's start off with you, Professor June.
Well, I'm a Lasallian because I serve.
I am. Because I am.
Oh,
I am a Lasallian, of course, I am blank. You have to
ikaw
say the
na
whole
muna,
sentence.
mag-isip pa ako.
I am a Lasallian.
Of course,
Of course.
I am.
Of course, I am. Period.
Oh, very
like
Cartesian.
Ganda.
Okay,
I am
okay.
a Lasallian, of course, I am, period. Full stop.
Yeah.
And now, have you been able to think about it? Professor June?
Yeah.
Okay, what's yours?
I am.
Hard, huh? It's very hard to compete with this period.
Well, yeah. I am a Lasallian because I am an excellent teacher.
Period and an excellent teacher.
Yeah.
On that note,
With all humility.
Dot. On that note, Professor Tullao and Professor Del Mundo, thank you so much
Maraming salamat.
for joining us
Thank
in
you.
this very entertaining episode of Decades La Salle Season 2. Your experiences and expertise in the fields of economics and film. We have learned so much, especially for our Lasallian community.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po
Maraming salamat.
for joining us for this edition.
Thank you.
I'm Rico Hizon, your host of Decades La Salle Season 2. I'll see you again soon. Animo La Salle! Bye for now. Decades La Salle would like to thank our sponsors. KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Morolite, Kitchen City, and Silingan Coffee.